Sure. I would actually say that I sit at the crossroads of culture and marketing, and music just happens to be one of the most powerful vehicles that got me there. So I studied engineering undergrad in university. I got my undergraduate degree, studying materials engineering, though I didn't think I really wanted to do that. Actually, I knew I didn't want to do that. My parents didn't care. So I had to finish my degree engineering. And after I graduated from undergrad, I went into the music industry. I worked at Universal Music Group, which is an international record label, and then started my own company in the world of music, which was okay until it wasn't. And I decided to go back to school to get my MBA, to get my master's in business. And it was at which point I just got very curious about the world of digital as a disruptor to business. After getting my MBA, I went to go work at Apple doing partner marketing at iTunes, right? Which we now know as Apple Music. But then it was iTunes, and I managed our relationship with Nike Sports Music. And during this time, it was sort of like the perfect place for me. I'm doing marketing and music, as you said, like that convergence is really where I thought my sweet spot was. And I happened to meet a gentleman by the name of Matthew Knowles, who has a daughter by the name of Beyonce Knowles. I don't know if you guys know her in France.
Oh, we don't. Nobody knows Beyonce. Of course, no.
Yes. So I meet Matthew Knowles, and Matthew says, let me get this straight. You were an engineer, and then you start a music company, and you have an MBA, and you work at Apple, and you're Black? Dude, who are you? Like, you're a unicorn. Like, you don't exist. It's like, I exist. I'm real. And he says, you should run digital strategy for Beyonce. And I said, oh, yes, I should totally do that.
Oh my
So I
gosh.
ran digital strategy for Beyonce in New York, which was phenomenal. And this is during the I Am Sasha Fierce days. So this is like single ladies,
Wow.
the ring on it. Like, it's like, yes. So this is like such amazing time to be in the Beyonce business. Well, let's be honest. There's never a bad time to be in the Beyonce business.
Yeah.
But this was a special time because Beyonce was going from being Beyonce, the recording artist, to Queen Bee, the icon. I got a chance to see it, like to see it happen, behind the scenes, which is pretty fascinating. Probably, one of the most unique things I've done in my career, having to be able to be that close, like that close to the sun and see it all happen. And so now I'm really in the crossroads or the crosshairs of marketing and music. And what I realized while at record labels with the biggest artists on the planet, arguably at the time, that marketers and advertisers were doing a better job of breaking music artists than record labels were.
Mm.
The traditional means by which record labels were bringing artists to market, advertisers are doing a better job of that. I mean, Apple is a great example. The iTunes ads or the iPod ads were breaking new artists like Vice, for instance, or Matt and Kim. And I just felt like, one, where do you go after work with Beyonce? Like, what's next?
Oh,
Not
yeah.
places. Everything else is
Yeah.
kind of down for work with Beyonce, right? So there's that. The second thing, if I'm just being honest, I look in the mirror and wonder, how good am I? Truthfully, I had so much success working with her, but I don't know how much of that success was due to me. Like, I felt like Beyonce was going to be successful with or without me. Clearly, without me, she's been more than just fine. So I wondered, like, how good am I? And I want to test it out to see. So I decided to go into the world of advertising. I went to a pure play social media agency. So the agency only focused on digital and social media. And that was really helpful. It was sort of like boot camp for social media marketing. And I really cut my teeth there in an agency called Big Fuel. And still thinking I'm a music guy, but getting closer to this world of digital and social while also working in marketing. And the biggest inflection point rather, happened when I met Steve Stout. Steve Stout, who was an advertising executive. So he was responsible with Jimmy Iovine at Interscope for signing Eminem, for signing Will Smith. And actually, this is a really good story. I'm sidebar just for a moment.
Wow, 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 wow. We're
So,
having good stuff now.
so
Listening.
here's how the legend goes. Will Smith gets signed by Interscope. Right? He was at Jive, got dropped from Jive, got signed by Interscope, and he has this movie coming out called Men in Black, and
Wow.
they released the soundtrack for Men in Black, and the soundtrack kills. Right, Will Smith has the Men in Black song, all of the songs on there. The soundtrack goes like multiple times platinum, maybe diamond. It's unbelievable, right? 10 million records sold. It sold a lot globally. And my understanding is that the story goes, the folks at the record label are partying, like they're enjoying this new success with the Men in Black soundtrack when the movie comes out. And while they're celebrating, they see another group of people celebrating, and they go, "Who are those guys?" Because those guys like really, and they say, "Oh, those are the folks at Ray-Ban, the sunglasses company." And they
Crazy.
go, wow, what were they so excited about? It's like, oh, they sold like 17 million sunglasses because of some crazy number, because of Will Smith wearing the sunglasses in the movie Men in Black, where he says, "I make these look good." And Steve Stout originally immediately thought, oh my goodness, I sold, say, 10 million records that cost $17 for people to buy it. They sold 17 million sunglasses and they cost $150. I'm in the wrong business. Not
Wow.
only that, those sunglasses don't have the ego that's associated with the music business. So he left music, went into advertising, started this advertising agency with Jimmy Iovine as a silent partner, and Jay-Z, who was his friend and silent partner, called Translation. And I meet Steve Stout, and he introduces me to a new way of seeing the world. What I thought was about music and marketing and digital and social, he widened the aperture for me and said, this is about culture. And it completely changed the way I see the world. Right. And it's really at the convergence of marketing and culture that I operate. Right. Like, I would argue that consumption at its very core is a cultural act. What we buy, where we go, what we do, how we style ourselves, how we adorn ourselves, all these things are byproducts to our cultural subscription. So at Translation, that's the work that I did, working with brands like Anheuser-Busch, Bud Light, Budweiser, Google, McDonald's, right? These are international, massive, massive brands. And I started getting really interested in culture, understanding human behavior. So I started doing a lot of reading, a lot of self-directed research, started teaching at NYU while I was at New York University, while I was at Translation. My family and I moved back to Michigan because we had our eldest daughter, Georgia. So I started working at another agency while teaching at the University of Michigan, getting really excited about understanding people, so much so that I started my doctorate studying.
Yeah, I know. Congratulations. That
Thank
was
you so
amazing. I
much.
saw that on LinkedIn. You must be
And,
so happy.
and
Such
I'm
an achievement.
relieved.
Oh, beautiful.
I started my doctoral program at Temple University here in the States while teaching at the Rural Business University of Michigan and
Wow.
working at donor. I have a very supportive wife, right? So working on these things, and it's really started to bring academia into the fold as I think about culture and marketing. And now, having the doctorate, having a very celebrated career, which has been great. I joined Wyden Kennedy, who arguably are the best advertisers on the planet, the best cultural impact storytellers on the planet when it comes to creativity. And that's really kind of where I sit: culture and marketing, how these two things play together and what it means, not just for how we consume, but sort of how we show up in the world as citizens.